Tonight, we have a special guest with us that is a social media marketing expert. And trust me, I have hired her and I've used her for her services. And she gives some good, quick tips that really can make a big difference in your business, in the aid to the marketing and things like that that are already going on, to add to what you're already doing for your businesses. So we thank her for coming on with us tonight. And so we're excited to hear from her. Before she starts, before Miss Kalia starts, really quickly, if anyone needs additional hours to complete the requirement for the city of Sacramento, you can go to the BSBA website. There are video uploads there of the prior workshops, a few of the prior workshops. You can complete that 1 hour workshop by watching the replay. And then there is a link there to complete a reflection. And this is required for you to actually get credit for the hour. So if anybody needs additional hours or additional time, if anybody needs time to make up the 10 hours before December 30th, very important you keep that date before December 30th. If you need that requirement met, those hours are available to you. Just go to the BSBA website and that link is in the chat. Also, we have our facilitator evaluation. That link is also in the chat and we'll put it in again because it was put in earlier, probably before everyone came on. But at this time, those are all the announcements. At this time, we're going to turn it over to our guest speaker on tonight. Her name is Kalia Wright. She is out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and she is the owner of KSW Social Media Marketing, and she is going to take it from here.
Hello, everyone. Like she said, my name is Kalia, and I am the owner, everything pretty much of KSW Social Media Management. If you have any specific questions before I even start, just kind of put them in the chat so that I can know. It'll just help me to lead this presentation just a little bit. So, but if you have questions as we're going, you can put them in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things you need to do to increase your brand's visibility on social media. 1 second. Okay. Just a little bit about me. I literally love social media. I love everything about it. So that's just kind of what drives my passion, to just continue to learn. And I also like connecting people. So that's why I went into this business. I just think that you should do things that you love and that makes you happy. So this makes me happy. The first thing that you need to do when you're on social media, when I do social media audits, the first thing I'll do is look at your Instagram and I'll look at your bio. So the most important part of your Instagram will be what you see, literally what you see in this screen right here. Don't worry about the followers part because that stuff really doesn't matter and it's just a vanity metric, because people can have millions of followers and still have no sales and no business. So, but everything below followers is what's important. So you want to make sure that you have your business name and what you do. And then I call it an I statement. So the I statement for me is I help entrepreneurs create and implement social marketing strategies. You want to let people know who you are and what audience you serve and what problem you solve usually, because they'll look at that first. Then, make sure that your links work in your bio. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're outdated links. And then especially, I'm guilty of this because I have a link tree. Sometimes I don't go in and check the links to make sure that the links are still relevant. Do not be like me. And then you want to make sure that the highlights. So the highlights, if you don't know, there's the little circles right here where it says services, client love, WCW, FYI. So with these things, those are the things that you want to highlight for people. Like, what do you think is most important about your business? So for me, I have a list of my services so that they're easy to find so people don't get lost in my timeline or in my feed trying to figure out what I do. And then I have my client love second because I feel like people, it's just my little social proof so that people know that I know what I'm doing and then they become more interested. The next part will be, I think I'm going ahead of my slides though, so I'm gonna slow down. But your top 9 is what's next important. So you want to make sure that the top 9 photos that you have on your bio, I mean on your in your photos, you only see 6 here, but that that it's something that's representative of your brand. So, like I said, your profile photo. Sometimes people put their logo as their profile photo, and that's fine. But just know that your profile is going to have to work harder if you have a logo as your profile photo because people aren't sure who you are or if you're a real person. And then it kind of makes them a little skeptical. And on social media, you only have about 10 to 15 seconds to catch people's attention. So if you don't catch their attention in the first 10 to 15 seconds with your picture, um, they may not visit the page. Your name. Sometimes people are just really, they go too far with what they name their pages, and it makes you hard to find. And you want to make it easy. You want to make social media easy. Also, you want to make sure that your actual name, if you are a solopreneur or business to business or something like that, you want to make sure that you have your actual name in your bio because when you're talking to people, it just makes it a little bit more personal and you want to be social on social media. Then you want to tell people what to do. So you have your links. You want to tell them download my ebook here, visit my website here, book an appointment here. Um, because you assume that people know, but then you'll always get those messages like, how do I book? How do I do this? So you just want to make sure that you just kind of make everything super simple. And then make sure, like I said, make sure that your links are updated. And then one of the things that I usually see on Instagram during my audience is people put links in their captions. And it's fine if it's like www.google.com. I don't know, something really simple that someone can type into a browser somewhere else. But you can't click links in Instagram captions. So it's just kind of a waste of real estate there. And then it's frustrating with people trying to go flip back and forth between screens. And again, if you want people um, to be interested in what you have going on, you want to just make it easier for them.
Leah, we have a question in the chat.
All right.
It is, are the top 9 photos a static set of photos that we can choose and pin in some way, or do they change over time as more are posted?
They change over time as more are posted. So your top 9 photos are going to be the last 9 photos that you posted on your profile. That's why it's important to make sure that you have relevant pictures or relevant content. Sometimes they don't have time to post, so they don't really think about what they're doing. They're just like, I know I need to post, so let me just post something, and then it's not representative of the brand. And then that'll be the one post that someone sees, and then they're turned off, and then they a client that could have been, moved to your warm audience is now just gone. So you just want to make sure that you're posting relevant posts so that your top 9 is always, excuse me, always something that you have going on and most representative of your brand.
And we also have Ben, you had your hand up. Did you have a question? Ben, did you have a question? Maybe it was an accident. Okay. Okay, well, that was it for now.
Okay. So the Facebook business profile. So social media is really your digital business card, right? So when you're out and people are like, well, what do you do? They usually say, what's your Facebook, what's your Instagram, what's your Twitter, LinkedIn? They ask for all of those things. So you want to make sure that when you give them that information, that when they go to your pages, that your pages are completely set up so that it's it gives a full view of the business. So, and you also want to make sure that your business is searchable. So that's why it's important to make sure that you have the right descriptive words. And you always want to think of what would someone Google if they are looking for you. So what do you, if you wanted to show, if you want to make sure that you show up in a space, what are they Googling to find out, like to find you? So those are the words that you want to use repetitively. That's basically what SEO is, especially in the social media space. You want to make sure that when people are Googling certain words, that your projects come up. So, and then you also want to make sure that you select the correct categories. So if you are a bartender, and or a mobile bartending service, but you have you have your social media set up as a party planner, when someone is looking for a mobile bartending service, you won't come up because Facebook is going to say, oh, Facebook is going to say, oh, you're a party planning business, so you don't qualify. So you, that's why it's just simple things like sometimes um, when you set up your Facebook page, they give you so many options that people don't want to like scroll through to make sure that they have the right one, but you're really doing yourself a disservice if you're not doing that. And then a short description of your services, not necessarily the same copy that's on your website, but just like 1 to 3 sentences. If you were like your elevator pitch, if you were in an elevator with someone and you wanted to seal the deal, what 3 sentences would you say? Who are you and what do you do? Make sure that you have that in your description as well. A company overview. Um, this is where this is where you can have the long form about your business. People don't really look at this unless they're me and they're doing like an audit, but it's still good to have it because it's good to make sure that your profiles are set up, especially for like funding, because you just never know who's looking and they want to make sure that everything is all right. And then again, make sure that your links are up to date. I cannot stress enough, make sure that your website link is up to date and it's the correct one. Your
Hi,
cover. Oh, hi.
sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
You had a question?
Yeah, I'm Ben. I just got some audio problem earlier.
Oh,
Sorry, are you? Is it okay for me to ask my question, or you can
yeah,
finish
go
it?
ahead. No, go ahead.
So I had Facebook with a different name when I started my Facebook, and now I wanted to be more precise name, but it wouldn't let me change it. How do I do that, or do I have to make another account and bring all that stuff over? And second question is, how do I collaborate my contact between Instagram and Facebook? How do I mix them together? Is that possible or not?
So it is. So I'm my first question is the Facebook page that you're talking about a business page or a personal page?
Yeah, it was Better Living MT, but I go as Better Living Massage Therapy.
Hmm.
And originally it was personal, but then I used my business as the main name, and then under that I put my real name. But now
Okay.
I yeah, so I want to fix it where it's more precise.
So if you're doing business on Facebook, you need to have a Facebook business page. So not a personal page that was converted into a business page. You want to have a business page because even though people say they converted their personal page into a business page, you didn't. It has to be, you have to sign up for a business page where you put all of your business information and then it's connected to the Facebook business suite so that you can run advertisements and you can get your analytics and all that stuff. If you're using a
So I
personal
do
page,
have
okay.
Yeah, so I do have the business page, and then I have one page for my San Rafael location, and I have one page for my Sacramento location, and then my personal page, it's named as I took the business name. I didn't put my real name in there. So is that not good?
No, that's not good at all.
So that's
Just
why I
because
want to
if you
change
want,
my personal page name because I use I sorry, I don't want to confuse. In the beginning, I had a personal file, but then I used my business page. Now I don't want that anymore.
so I understand what you're saying, but you still have to set up an official business page through the Facebook Business Suite
I do have that
because
too.
you have that. So if you have that, then you shouldn't have any problems changing your business name on there. But if you have changing a personal profile to a business name, Facebook's going to flag your account. And they're not going to let you change it because they have tools for business owners and they want you to use those.
So with my personal account, can I change that name at all, or take rid of that name? Better living empty.
With your personal account, I'm not sure. You'll probably have to just like submit a request, and then sometimes they
Okay.
tell you you have to submit your ID and all that to change your name on your personal page. But as far
Okay.
as
Thank
business, you
you.
shouldn't do business on a personal page because you can also lose your page.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So then you have so with the same thing as on Instagram, you want to make sure that your profile photos and your cover photos are representative of the brand. The cover photos where you can get creative, where you can have your logo, some pictures, things like that. But your your business profile photo should be the same as whatever your Instagram is because brand identity is important. So you want to make sure that if someone finds your Instagram and then they're looking for your Facebook, they can say, "Oh, okay, this is the same page," because everything looks the same. The colors looks the same, the text looks the same, the icons look the same. Um, do anybody have any questions about setting up the profiles or um, the bios before I go to content?
So how do you put the contact together with the Instagram and Facebook?
So if you have a business page, you can go into your settings, and then
Yeah.
under settings, it'll set you. You'll go down to where it says Instagram, and then once you click on Instagram, it'll allow you to sign into your Instagram page. But
Hmm.
the Instagram page also has to be a business page, and then you can link them together.
Okay.
Any other
Um,
questions?
yeah, I have a question. So
Okay.
with regards to the bio, how in depth should it be for social media? Like, should it be like super in depth, or should it just be kind of like a short one paragraph, couple of sentences?
So on Instagram, it has to be short because I think they only give you 240 characters. So you have to be super creative about how you. I might be wrong about how many characters. I can't remember. I don't have time to look, but it's really short. But on Facebook, you can use a lot. It's a lot more real estate there, so you can use as many words as you want to on Facebook. On Facebook, if you're so I try not to put a lot of information on my Facebook because I want people to visit my website because when people visit my website, then I can catch like with using my Facebook pixel to see what type of people are interested in my services. But if I have everything on my Facebook page, then they have no reason to click off of the page. But if you are like maybe a boutique owner or something and you're selling directly off your Facebook page and you have like your Shopify set up, you don't necessarily have to kind of bait people to click onto the website because you can still catch that information when they click onto your Shopify page. But for me, because I'm a service-based business, I'm just kind of like, hey, this is what I have going on. Contact me or click on my website for more information because I want to catch um, the type of people who are interested in my services so that when I run ads, I'm targeting the right type of people. Because a lot of times you're just running ads blindly. And that's fine until you find like who it's like dating. Until you find the right one, you hit or miss, so so yeah, so you do that. That's what ads are. Ads are like dating, kissing a lot of frogs. Um, but speaking of that, that's why it's important to have like great content because Oops, I just pushed the wrong button. Great content is just so important. And then great content is also subjective because everybody's brand voice is different. You just want to make sure that your messaging is the same. So that means like I know it's like so superficial, but when you create content for your page, you want to make sure the colors are the same. You want to make sure the fonts are the same because you want people to, when they're scrolling down, like I said, you only have 10 to 15 seconds. When they're scrolling through your page, through their timeline, you want them to stop and be like, oh, this is a KSW social media page post. But if every time you post, everything is different, they're never going to be able to identify your brand. So that's like if you're scrolling and you see the red dot, you automatically know that this is Target. Or if you see something that's blue and yellow, you think Walmart. And then if it's not Walmart, you're like, your brain isn't really like, well, why is that not Walmart? Because your brain is already set to recognize that. So you want people to be familiar with your brand the same way. So also,
Really quick before you move on, can you give a little more detail or describe the link tree and how beneficial that is on Instagram?
Oh, okay, sure. So Linktree, okay, so a lot of times people are like, they'll say something like, oh, I wrote an ebook, click the link in my bio, or I have an event coming up, click the link in my bio. So every time you have something coming up, you have to remove the link from your bio because only one link can live in that space. So if you have a link tree, you can add as many links as you want to. So then when someone clicks the link tree link, if you go over to my page, you'll see it, KSW social media. If you, when you click that link specifically on my page, my website comes up, my ebook comes up, my reviews comes up, my downloadables come up. But if I wasn't able to use that space for that, then I'm kind of losing out because I can't promote all of my things at once. So having a link tree just kind of allows you to just, extend that space. Did I answer the question? Okay.
And how do you
Yes.
create a link tree?
So I'm probably going to say it wrong, but the website is linktr.ee or something like that, something super weird. But if you type into your your browser link tree, it'll come up and it's free unless you want to like super personalize it. Then you can pay, I think, like $3 a month or something. I use the free version, and then I just kind of made it as close to my colors as possible because I don't pay for stuff that I don't need to. I mean, unless I need to. So, but yeah, it's very beneficial to have, and it's free. So, definitely, if you have if you have several products that you want to highlight, definitely get you a link tree.
There's a question in the chat. It says, what is the best way to grow your Facebook group?
Be social. So part of this is what I'm going to say is people do not want you to sell to them. They know that if you have a business profile already, they know that you are probably about to get on their nerves selling to them. So, but if they like you, they'll want to support you. So when you're on social media, you have to figure out how much of your story you want to tell people. So, and I'm not saying like you have to like be to lie to them, but everything you don't have to share. But people want to feel like they can relate to you. So if there are some things that you're comfortable with sharing, I say share as much about yourself as possible. So like I'll tell you a little trick. I always say this. When my engagement is down, I share a picture of my daughter on my page because then people remember like, oh, she runs this business with her daughter. Yeah, let me buy something. Yes, please go ahead, buy something. So but that's me sharing myself. That's me like, oh, my mini me or whatever, or just us doing, our day. And sometimes like the pictures that I share, because she keeps my my posting calendar. Sometimes the picture I share is from a couple weeks ago, but I see that I need some help. So here you go. So I share that part of myself, or I share my dog, or just something, just how much you're willing to share. give people something, because social media is really to be social. And if you're not engaging with people, then why would they follow you? And then why would they follow you to a group? You have to tell them, like, this is why you should trust. These are my favorite words. People have to they have to know, like, and trust you before they buy anything from you or follow you anywhere. So figure out figure out who your tribe is and engage with them. And then you can build your Facebook group. Give out some free information. And then if people are like, oh, okay, if this changed my life or if this made me money for free, imagine what type of feeling I would have if I actually paid for this service. So that's
I
the
have a
type of content.
question.
All right.
This is Shaya. I have a quick question. I was the one that asked the question about the group. And so
Okay.
to get a little bit more clarity. So I've been on Facebook probably for 11 years and have built and connected and created amazing relationships.
Okay.
And so it has benefited me significantly. So, but I don't have a significant, like this strategy, if you will. It's just been really organic on how I built it. So the question regarding the group is that I'm moving people from my personal page now
Mm-hmm.
to engage in the group. And the group is really engaged. We're really very actually engaged. So that was the
Okay.
reason why I asked the question. Building and connecting and building relationships, moving them from my personal page to my business, to my group. So that's why I asked the question and get a little bit more. Is there a strategy? Because I'm definitely doing the connecting and building, but people have gotten used to me being on my personal page, and I'm just trying to not be there as much anymore.
So you know what you do? You tell them, I'm not doing this on my personal page no more. And then don't do it on your personal page.
Okay,
You just
got
have
it.
to put your foot down. But if you say, I'm not doing this on my personal page, and then they ask a question and you answer it, then they DM you and you answer it, they don't have any reason to go to your group. So I would just keep saying, like, you know what? Join my group and I'll answer the question there. You know what? That's a good question. We'll go live about it in my group tonight. You know what I'm saying? That type of
Great.
thing.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
don't keep, yeah, if you want to, you funnel that traffic, you so on social media, you have to tell people what you want them to do with your content. I
Okay.
want you to buy this. I want you to click this. I want you to like this.
Hmm.
And then subconsciously they'll be like, oh yeah, let me like this. Let me click this. Let me follow this group. But you just have to make it very clear and then make it easy for them. Here's the link to the group. Go ahead and join it.
Right. Got it.
But
Okay.
yeah, just shut that down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
All right.
Can I grow my YouTube subscribers using social media?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about
Absolutely.
that later.
All right. Okay. So when we were talking about content and about how much you want to tell people, you also need to figure out how much you want to show up in a space. So I'm in a couple different social media manager groups, and everyone's strategy is different, right? But my advice about showing up online is you should only show up if you have something to say. You can't show up, you can't, don't post just to post. So a lot of times people are thinking, I need to post something. So then they screenshot something for somebody else's page, then they post it on theirs, and then they don't understand why this got 1,000 likes over there and it got none because on yours. It's because this is not your tone of voice and your audience is not used to that. Also, if you're posting every day, you're posting 3 times a day, and you're not adding values in people's lives, they're going to unfollow you. So if you sell eyelashes and you post 3 times a day about these eyelashes, they're going to be like, girl, I get it. And I'm going to unfollow you because I do not need eyelashes and stop reminding me. But if you're doing tutorials about how to put them on, how to choose them, things like that, things that are value based, then post a couple times a day if that's what you want to do. But 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week is actually perfect unless you have more to say. But if you're only posting 3 to 4 times a week, you need to be putting something in your stories. You need to tell a story in your story because people want to feel like they're part of your journey. So so if you're busy and you don't have time to post on social media, tell us in your stories what you're doing. Because then they're gonna be like, oh, I see you working hard. Let me go ahead and support you. So you just want to make sure that you're showing up online. And if creating content is not your thing, it's mine. So hit me up and I can help you. So this is a sample. Oh, that is super blurry. Please forgive me. But this is a sample content calendar. This is what I say about value based. So you want to make sure that you're not being super selling and annoying on social media. So you want to do like you want to do some reposting to show people that you see them and that you support them. And then likely if you repost someone, they're going to repost you. And then that can get you into a wider audience because you'll be introduced to their audience. Then you could do a quote. So when people post quotes on their page, the quote should match how you want people to feel when they are interacting with your brand. So just don't post something because it's trendy. Post it because you believe it, and post it because it's on brand. Then you want to post an engagement post. So an engagement post, so all posts should have a call to action, but engagement posts are really like the post where you're asking a question that's not a yes or no question. Where's your favorite place to go on vacation? What's one thing you've done well or you learned during quarantine? Because when people engage with your post and they write 3 words or more, Instagram or Facebook are like, oh, people want to see this. And then they boost that post to your followers because organically, your posts are really only going out to about 10% of your followers. So if you have 2,000, not many people are really seeing that. If you have 100, not many people really are seeing that. So that's why it's important to ask questions that people really have to answer and then respond to those questions. So if you have 10 people who answered your question, respond to them because now you have 20 comments on that post. And Instagram is like, oh yeah, they jamming today. So then tomorrow when you post something, more people are going to see it. So because Instagram really just wants you to boost the post and they want the money, but that's something different. And then you want to make sure that you have social proof on your page. So when I was talking about the top 9 before, your top 9 should look something like this. I mean, not particularly these pictures, but something that tells about the business, how they should feel, what you do, and engagement, how people feel about you, and then just kind of mix it up. So that's an example of like what your top 9 should always look like. Ads. I don't know how many of you are running ads and how many of you are super sad about your ads. But it happens to us all. Sometimes Instagram or Facebook is like, this post is doing really well. You should boost it. Boosting a post is not running an ad. So boosting a post is really just increasing the views to that particular post. But it's not doing the same thing that if you went through the business manager and set up a page. So, set up an actual ad. So earlier I was talking about how you set up a pixel on your website so that you can catch the audience that is interested in you. Your first couple ads are going to do nothing and you're going to feel like you wasted your money. But if you have your pixel set up, you did not waste your money because that was a test audience. So like I said, it was dating. That's the high school boyfriend right there. Like this ain't gonna really work, but I tried it. Now I know what I like and what I don't like. So that's why you set up your pixel so that when you are running that ad, the people who actually click off the page and go to it, now Instagram has caught their demographic. So, or Facebook has caught their demographic. So like, how if you are talking to someone and you're like, I want to go to Target, and then all of a sudden you see a Target something on your timeline, that's them catching your demographic. So when you start Googling, looking for something, and then you go to Facebook, and then all of a sudden the thing that you were looking, I do it on purpose sometimes because I don't really be liking the look, but then you all of a sudden go to it. That's because that pixel said, you're interested in this, so let me put this information in front of you. So even if you don't get a sale from your first ad, you're still getting data. And to me, that's more valuable in the long run.
So if I hear you correctly, oftentimes, at least from my experience, from my business page, I will post a post or an event, and I always get a notification from Facebook in particular that says, "Do you want to boost this, or do you want to make this an ad?" Like, and I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I posted an event that's going to happen in 2 weeks, and today I got a notification from Facebook saying that the ad was rejected. And normally a post or an event that I post gets lots of looks or likes or, something. And this one didn't. And I need that, I need that event to be out there. But they prompted me to make this an ad. I didn't necessarily say I wanted it to be an ad. I just set it up as an event.
So when's the last time you ran an ad? Before that?
Maybe a month ago.
Yeah, so Facebook is like, I want some money. And you just posted this, so this would be a good opportunity. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the post was configured properly to run for an ad. So sometimes, depending on what you say in the ad, they're going to deny it. So if you're like, let me think of something that got denied. If you are running an ad that's like, so okay, I work with a company, a wine company, and our ads sometimes get denied because of the verbiage. So we have to be super specific about what we're telling people to do. So we can't be like, we have to make sure that we say drink responsibly. You know what I mean? So we can't be like, oh, start, party with this, because then it'll say like you're encouraging people to, overconsume. So you just have to make sure that your verbiage is correct and that your whatever image you have doesn't have a whole bunch of like words on it, because they know, so their user experience is important. If they don't think people are going to interact with it, then they're not going to boost it. So I would just check. So usually they tell you why it was rejected.
It did tell me why. It says something about this is too political, and I'm like, a class for kids is political? Are you kidding me? There was nothing political about the event. It was a Kwanzaa celebration.
Kwanzaa is political.
Kwanzaa is political. Okay, all righty.
Yeah, Kwanzaa is political on first glance, because they think that people are going to the user experience. So people are going to, that's a conversation for another time.
Okay. Thank you.
But you can also dispute and say, no, that's not what this is.
Right. I did submit the dispute, but again, normally after it being posted for about a day, I would have had lots of likes and people saying that they are attending, or they would have shared the event, and I've gotten none of the such. And I'm like, okay, what are y'all doing to me today? Because I need this post to go out as a post, not necessarily as an ad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
So it's not uncommon for that, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but from like October until like maybe last week, you couldn't even use hashtags on Instagram because of the election.
Yeah.
So they were protecting us from fake news.
Yeah.
So they're super sensitive about, yeah.
Okay.
So I would just dispute it, and then if they don't push it forward, I would delete it and do it again.
Thank you.
Because that post already is probably not going to reach far because they've already flagged it. So I would just post it again.
Right.
So these are like the 5 different audiences or ways that you can run an ad. But when they say like, what do you want to do with your ad? You want to make, or when you target people, you want to make sure that you know what the purpose of your ad is. Like sometimes, like I don't run ads, but for clients, if I run an ad, do I just want them to know that they exist? If I just want them to know that they exist, then I would do a website ad or an engagement ad. But if I have something going on, then I would just get a little bit more in depth in what I'm doing. But don't let your first ad be when you have something to sell, because people are going to be like, who are you? And then you're not going to sell anything. But if they're seeing ads for you, even if you're just running like an ad for like $3 every day, just the hey, I exist type of ad, when they see you the first time, they're going to ignore you. But then when you have something to sell, they're going to be like, oh, I saw this before. I'll buy this because I trust this person, because you want them to know, like, and trust you. And 2 out of 3 is not bad. So with ads, the best thing to do is have a video, because one, the amount of views is going to help, because it shows its engagement. So, and the views, as we know, never match the likes, because people will watch a video 1,000 times, but they won't necessarily like it. But if the views are showing really high, Instagram and Facebook think that people are interested in it, so they increase that reach. So people respond better to ads, to videos, because I think we're just nosy and we just kind of want to know what happens at the end. So it's always good to run an ad, even if your ad is a slideshow of text. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying go ahead and get a production crew, unless it's in your budget, but if not, just a slideshow of text is fine. I think we kind of talked about this already. Use video. Oh, and in your, I know a lot of times people are like, make sure that your copy is people sell like, oh, copy that converts. But again, on social media, you have about 10 to 15 seconds to catch their attention. So if your caption needs to convert, but it also needs to be short and simple, like when you're running an ad. It's okay to have long form captions, but in your ad, people may not, unless they're already familiar with your brand, they may not read it. So you just kind of want to be like, hey, it's a sale, or hey, that type, like 1 to 2 sentences should be fine. And then if you don't have the time to make a slideshow, then you could do a carousel post on social media, which is like 10 posts that you can do that people have to click through. And then because they have to click through it, that's engagement to the post, and then it increases your reach. So that helps as well. Engagement with your audience. Engagement is just really, really important. Just really important. So I suggest that people take 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what your schedule is, out of your day, and engage with your audience. And that means to engage with the people who are already following you, so that they don't forget that they're following you and that you're always on top of mind. You're not going to be able to like interact with everyone, but the more you engage with their posts, the more you'll see their posts and the more that they'll see your posts. So, excuse me. So you want to just make sure that you're taking that time to do that. One of my tricks that I do is I go to someone's page. I'll either watch their stories and just kind of let stories play, or I'll like their top 9 photos, because if you like someone's one photo, it might get lost in the notifications. But if you like 9 photos, they're going to be like, who is this person and why are they here? And then they're going to go to your page to see what you have going on. And then if you have your top 9 together and show what you're doing and your bio is together and your links work, then they might follow you, because if they're interested in what you have, because you represented yourself well. But you have to get their attention first. So that's just kind of one of the tricks I do. Liking the top 9 photos is it works every time. So when I was, go ahead. Someone had a question.
Yes, I'm sorry. This is Shay again.
Okay.
That sounds good, but I just don't have time to do that. So, what do you suggest? Because I mean, that's a lot, to go to some. So, do you just hire somebody to do that? Is that organic, or how do you do that?
You hire me.
Oh, okay, good. Because that's a lot of time.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of time.
for me, it would be for me.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of time, and it does take the time, but when you're building a brand and you're building, I think that sometimes business owners don't realize that now social media is part of building your business. And I think that a lot of people just kind of discount social media, and they're just like, oh, I don't really need it. I'm a business owner. Maybe
No,
I
yeah,
have a
right.
brick and mortar, and I get clients and I get customers, but you also want to stay relevant because again, your social media pages are a digital business card. And if you're not showing up, if you're not posting, and maybe you go to trade shows or something, and then someone finds you on Instagram, they're not going to think, especially now with the pandemic and so many businesses shutting down, if you're not active on your social media, that's almost like a close sign.
Got it.
So you just kind of want you really have to just make the time. I don't know, you just really have to make the time, or you can outsource.
Well, outsourcing will be it.
Yeah.
So one last question, and that would be, do you suggest using social media to really build beyond social media, meaning build your community beyond that? So you're not relying on social media alone to build your company.
So I don't think I understand the question. So are you saying like, so for
So for
you, like with your
example,
Facebook group? Okay, go ahead.
you using Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you're using, but the goal is to create I'm just asking maybe a call to action to join your newsletter or something of that sort to, build beyond social media. So you're not,
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking about like that. Should we use social media to do that? Hopefully I'm saying
absolutely.
that right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So your social media is super general content to the world. Your newsletter is content dedicated to your warm audience. So
Got it.
if they like you on social media and then they sign up for your newsletter, then they warm. So then you
Got
send out those emails and you like, okay, you are my community now.
it. Okay.
So you should definitely be. That's why I say you tell people what you need them to do,
Okay.
but you just can't because email marketing and text marketing are also forms of digital marketing, but just to a more niche down crowd. So, but yeah, definitely you should be building your email list. You should be sending out emails. You should be sending out those texts depending on what your audience responds to. Um, but yeah, but just don't, I just really think that, and it's not just because I'm biased and because I'm a social media manager and that I love social media, but social media is just so important to your business. And I don't mean like, oh, you
Right.
need to have 200,000 followers, because if you have 2,000 followers that you don't talk to, when you have 200,000, what are you going to do with them?
Right. So you're a social
So
media manager. Oh yeah, we will
I
be contacting you.
I
Yes.
am a social media manager. At the bottom of my screen, you have all my contacts right there. But yeah, social media is just so important to your business. Just look at, like, everything is online right now. Like, how is your business showing up? Like, how does it compare? And not even compare. I don't like that word because we don't want to look at other people's stuff. But how are you showing up? That's important. Hashtags are not optional, except
And
for on Facebook. Hashtags are not optional, except for on Facebook. So if you're posting, like I said, less than 10% of your audience sees your post. So if you are posting and you are not hashtagging, except for between October and like November, I don't know, whatever, when the hashtags work, you are talking to no one. No one saw you and no one is going to be able to find you. And I don't mean hashtags like, so like me, my branded hashtag is social media done the right way, right? Right, with my last name with a W. But no one is looking for that. But when I blow up, they're gonna look for my old post and they're gonna be able to find it using that branded hashtag. But so you need to use hashtags that's a mix of you can use up to 30, but they need to be a mix of what you do and who you do it for. So for me, my hashtags would be social media management, content marketing, blah blah blah. But then I will also put small business help small business owners, because that is my audience. So I am a social media manager and then my audience are small business owners. So you want to make sure that when you're using hashtags, if you have 500 followers and you use hashtag love, that has over 1 million uses, no one's going to find you, because if anybody who has more followers than you, if they use that hashtag, your post gets pushed to the bottom. So you're not going to show up in the explore page. You're not going to show up in any searches. So you want to make sure that you're using hashtags, that a mix of hashtags that are low, which is 100K to 400K posts. And it'll tell you when you start typing in a hashtag, it'll say like hashtag social media management. And then it'll show you like it'll pop up, 2 million people use this. So then I won't use that because my little 2,000 followers, nobody gonna find me. So then I'll put like Vegas social media managers, and then it'll be like 500K people use this. So that means that's okay for me to use. But if millions of people are using that hashtag, don't use it, and it's just really a waste, and you're just gonna get lost in that feed. And then don't use the same hashtags over and over again. So if you use the same hashtags over and over again, Instagram is going to flag your account as spam, and it's going to say no one needs to see this. And then also don't use banned hashtags. So and then the banned hashtags change so often. So like the lady was saying that sorry, I don't remember your name, but she was saying that about Kwanzaa and how it got blocked from being able to run an ad. Certain posts, or even not even that. Beyonce was a hashtag that was blocked at one point. If you try to do hashtag Beyonce, it wasn't showing up in any searches because too many people were using it. And you'll know if the hashtag is blocked if you start typing it in and it doesn't say anyone used it ever. Because even if it has 5 uses and it's not banned, it'll just say under 100 people used it. So if you put in a hashtag and it says no users, do not use that hashtag because it's just going to block your posts. Insights. So remember we were talking about how much of yourself you want to share with people or whatever. Posts with pictures do 30% better than posts with just text. So these are according to my insights, these are the top posts for the year. So as you can see, most of them have my face. I rarely show my face on my page. So when I do, people are like, oh, okay. So there you go. But then the second post that I have is, I don't know if you guys remember, there was this thing called the period challenge, and people were posting like the period challenge or whatever. I did mine with my wedding ring, and then I used my caption to say how using trending topics in your business can help your social media. So I caught their attention with this picture showing a little bit about myself, and then my caption was like, hey, psych, I was just playing. This is business. You know what I mean? So those are really good to do as far as like hashtagging and things like that. Staying up with the trends and deciding, what people respond to. So if you're looking at your insights every week, every day, you'll see what people like and what they don't like. I know people like posts with faces. I know people like posts with my face. I still don't do it. Don't be like me though. Watch your insights and post what your audience will respond to, and you'll grow a lot faster.
We do have a question in the chat real quick.
All right.
It says, what kind of budget a business should set aside? What kind of budget should a business set aside to outsource for help to build a website and start Instagram page? Because it may be more efficient sometimes to pay someone to provide you such a service, and someone like me spending time to do it on my own, and God knows what the end results could be. Can you help with some number, please, or for just some ideas?
So so one of my pet peeves is when people say, I need a website, I need an affordable website designer. Well, what is affordable? Because you're paying for their time and their skill set. So I guess it's a little hard to say what a budget should be. For me, I pay $300 a year to have my website maintenance. Depending on what I need, I have to pay a little extra. And I think I paid $500 to get it set up. But that might not be someone else's budget, and then there may be someone who paid $2,000 for their website. But I'm really happy. So for me, $800 maybe that for a website, maybe, I don't know. But that was what I paid, and I can only go by what I know. As far as social media management, again, I don't know, like what's affordable, but I have a couple different packages. I have content creation packages that are that start at $125 for a month's worth of services if you just need posts. I have packages that are $215 for content. As far as social media, my social media management services start at $375 and then go up to $525. Well, just starting out and just depending on what you need. So again, I don't know like what's a good budget, but I also know some social media managers who charge $6,000 a month. So I guess it depends on what you need and where you are in your business. I hope that answered the question. Are there any other questions?
You said, please list your number.
Oh, my number, 702-969-8220. You can also email me. There are 2 dots now that I see this. It's not 2 dots in my actual email though. So sorry about that. Or you can set up a consultation through the website if you have any questions. Why can't I see the question?
We have got about 3 more minutes. Does anybody else have any questions?
Ooh, 3 minutes.
Who do you work with your website with?
The website is creative@yadley.com. So creativeyadley.com. They have pre-made websites, and then you just kind of pick out like the one you want, and then you can edit them yourself, or if you don't have time, you can tell them what it needs to say and how it needs to look, and they'll do it for you.
You say creative? What? I'm sorry.
creativeyadley.com.
Gagley.com.
I put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
But
just
yeah,
so with the spending budget on helping getting the Facebooks and stuff, can a person do like a couple months and then stop and then do another couple months, or can they ration it out a little bit when they first started?
Well, I mean, I guess you can, but if you are getting set up with a social media management company and you start and then you stop and then you start and you stop, then you kind of stop the momentum, because just when you're starting to get your pages going and your engagement up, and then if you stop, then it's no consistency, and then, but you can, yeah. That's the answer, yes.
Okay.
But you can also, if it's not in your budget, you can also go through Fiverr. If you just need like some task, you can also go through Fiverr.com. They have, or Upwork. You can probably find someone. You can just tell them what your budget is, and you can see what you can get through there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We have a question in the chat. What's the best time and days to post?
So it's different for everyone. So that's why it's important to know what your insights are. So when you look on your insights and you go to audience, it'll tell you what time of day the people are most active on your page, and then you should schedule your post around there. So if they tell you that you should post at 3:00 on Wednesday and 5:00 on Friday, then that's when you should post. But at 250, you should be going in and you should be liking people's posts. And then that's when you should do your engagement before you post, so that when you post, all of those people that you engage with, they're going to engage with your newest posts. Any other questions?
Any other questions before we close out tonight?
So I wanted to go back to that post that I had shared with you about that got rejected. And it says, ad can't run, edit ad, or confirm identity. We require people to confirm their identity and create a disclaimer to run ads about social issues, elections, or politics. And none of the language in the post that I created has anything to do with a social issue, election, or politics.
Kwanzaa is a social issue on social
Okay.
media.
Okay. So just because, okay.
Yep. It just is, because when you run the ad, you're going to have people who are who's going to report the ad. Why should this be on my app? You know, that type of thing. And Facebook wants to say that they vetted this and that you told them that this wasn't what that was, so that they're not liable.
Any other questions before we close out? Last chance.
We need a follow-up workshop on pixels and ads.
That is a whole nother class. That is a whole nother class.
I'm just
It really,
saying,
really
speak it
is.
into existence. My grandmother said, you don't ask, you don't get fed.
That is very true. That is very true. But yeah, that is a whole nother class. That's why I kind of went over it. But if you guys DM me your email addresses, I will email you a free copy of my ebook, and it kind of explains things a little bit more. Because I just appreciate you guys being here. So if you go over to my social media page, KSW Social Media, and send me your email, I'll send you the ebook, or I'll DM you the ebook, whatever is easier. But yep, I can do that.
Thank you. That is awesome. This has been a great class, very informative, lots of tools given to really help all of us increase our digital footprint, as she calls it. So we will definitely be looking into that follow-up session, because that sounds like it's its own, the whole nother thing, you know? So yes, yeah. So we need that, because especially if that's going to help us increase everything we got going on, why not? So again, thank you tonight. Do you have any final words? Anything else you want to leave? You want to repeat your contact information?
Yep. So I am Kalia. You can reach me at KSW Social Media on all social media platforms. Instagram is my favorite, so I'll get back to you faster on there. And if you need help just creating content or managing your pages, let me know. I also have content that's downloadable from my website. So you can choose different designs and instantly download it to your free Canva account and customize it yourself if you don't really want to talk to me.
So lots of great resources. I learned a lot tonight. Thank you so much, Kalia.
You're welcome.
Everybody check out her website or Instagram, Facebook. Everything that she offers is to literally help us grow our businesses and increase our presence and engagement online. And there is a evaluation in the chat, a facilitator evaluation, if you wouldn't mind to complete that tonight. Thank you all for being here. Again, for anyone that missed the announcement at the beginning, if you need to reach your 10 hours and you have not done so yet, and you only have these next couple of days left, please go to the BSBA website and you can watch the replays and you can get your hour credit if you complete the link to respond to the reflection questions. So that is it for tonight. We will see you all tomorrow night and then on Wednesday night for our final course. If you won't be on, happy holidays to everyone and thank you all. Have a great night.